I'm sharing this update in light of recent developments. 2 days ago, reports emerged that Munna Duke and Yong, both prominent figures associated with O Block, were fatally shot in Chicago. Just days prior, it was confirmed that Munna Mond, a younger affiliate of O Block, had finally been arrested in connection with the murder of Roy, also known as Alo. I'd also like to take this opportunity to share an update about the channel and its direction moving forward. I've decided to change the channel's name to Scenes Official as part of an effort to reach a broader audience and expand beyond Chicago-focused content. Moving forward, a team member will be contributing videos covering a variety of stories from around the world, not only gang-related topics, but also other forms of violence and unique subcultures. That said, I'll still continue posting content about Chicago, just as I always have. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned. I'll be releasing the story of Munna Duke in the coming days. We'll begin by going through events in chronological order, starting with the recent arrest of Munna Mond. He has been charged with the murder of Alo, also known as A. Roy, which took place on December 13, 2021, in the 6400 block of S. Martin Luther King Jr. Drive, right in the heart of Parkway Gardens. Mond, whose real name is Jamond Brown, appeared in court this past Wednesday for an initial detention hearing. As I mentioned earlier, Mond has finally been charged, not finally in the sense that I was hoping for his arrest, but rather that authorities have now addressed a case where the identity of the gunman seemed widely known. It's surprising that it took this long for the case to reach this point. When Mond was charged, he was already locked up for unlawful use of a weapon. For those unfamiliar with the case, Munna Mond is alleged to have shot and killed Alo, a member of O Block, in December 2021. The incident reportedly took place inside O Block following a physical altercation between the two. According to accounts, Alo had overpowered Mond during the fight, knocking him to the ground and landing several punches. After Alo walked away, Mond allegedly retrieved a firearm and opened fire, striking Alo multiple times. The entire incident was captured on video by a young woman, and the footage later circulated online. Following its release, she was reportedly threatened and assaulted as a result. In the video, a second fight involving multiple individuals can also be seen unfolding nearby, suggesting that a broader conflict between two groups may have been taking place at the time. Alo, who was fatally shot, was an older member of O Block and the brother of Big P. Big P publicly confirmed multiple times via his Instagram stories that Mond was responsible for the killing. He was also one of the few within the group who openly supported Alo. Most other members, especially the higher-ups, either stayed neutral or sided with Mond. This was largely due to Mond's status as a younger member who was still very active in the streets. He had put in significant work alongside Jado Jump Out Boys and had close ties to even younger affiliates like TSG. Even though older figures such as Duke, Edog, Gleish, and Boss Top, the so-called get-backers, carried significant weight in terms of reputation and violence, they couldn't afford to clash with the younger generation. The younger members were the ones taking action on the ground, and opposing them could have serious, even fatal, consequences. Mond also posted several Instagram stories that appeared to hint at his involvement in the killing. In one post, he wrote, "Before he died, he was a goofy. Now he's famous. Only two Roys, D. Roy and V. Roy. The block knows that though." At one point, Big P, Alo's older brother, was reportedly on the verge of retaliating against Munna Mond. His hatred toward Mond was clear, especially through a series of intense Instagram stories, where he even urged Lil Mike, Mond's cousin and fellow O Block member, to backdoor him, offering $5,000 as a prize. The tensions between Big P and Mond played out publicly, with both issuing threats on Instagram. In one instance, Big P shared private messages between them, in which Mond attempted to justify his actions by claiming that Alo was in the wrong. This only fueled Big P's anger further. However, a few months later, Big P stated that he had decided not to act on his emotions, explaining that doing so would only bring pain to his family. This change in course reportedly came after conversations with E-Dog and Munna Duke, who both urged him to reconsider. However, the alleged killing of Alo by Munna Mond would come with serious consequences. Exactly 3 years later, on December 13th, the same date Alo was killed in 2021, Mond's blood brother, JD Munna, was fatally shot. JD, also affiliated with O Block, was killed in Mafia Town, a territory he claimed. According to reports, a white sedan pulled up and opened fire, striking him 12 times in the chest and head. He later died at the hospital. Following his murder, members of 757 began posting tributes to Alo. This wasn't random. Alo's family is highly respected within 757, particularly Roc Nation. There have long been strong ties between Roc Nation and O Block, with several of Alo's brothers either previously claiming both sets or maintaining close connections between them. JD Munna was known for hustling and hanging out daily at a store on 43rd and Indiana. It's believed that he stayed away from online beefs, disses, or mocking, possibly thinking that Mond's actions wouldn't bring repercussions onto him. Not long before JD's death, Mond had posted a family photo featuring the two of them. Their older brother, Fahim, was also killed by 757 a decade earlier, just 3 blocks from where JD lost his life. Many speculate that JD's murder was a direct act of retaliation for Alo's death, a brother for a brother.
"2024, what the fuck is you doing outside a store selling weed? Grrr! Come out! Come out! Grrr!
The murder of JD Munna may have played a role in Mond's recent arrest, possibly prompting police to take more urgent action as the violence continued to escalate. Still, I believe that was only a minor factor. The most likely reason Mond has now been formally charged with Alo's murder is that witnesses have come forward and provided statements to law enforcement. It's important to remember that this murder took place in broad daylight, right in the middle of O Block, in front of numerous witnesses, some standing nearby, others watching from their apartment windows. Given how public the incident was, it was only a matter of time before someone spoke up. There's also an unconfirmed theory circulating that Nuwap may have had some connection to the situation. One version suggests that Mond robbed Nuwap, which led Alo to confront Mond and ultimately resulted in the deadly fight. Another version claims that Alo robbed Nuwap, and Mond tried to recover what was taken, leading to the fatal shooting. Whether either theory holds any truth remains uncertain, but I wanted to mention them for context. As for the case itself, I personally believe Mond will be convicted. There appears to be overwhelming evidence and too many eyewitnesses for him to walk free. Now, shifting away from Munna Mond, let's turn to the events of last Saturday, the tragic double murder of two of O Block's most well-known figures, Munna Duke and Yong. Both were longtime players in the streets and had close ties to King Von. The triple shooting occurred around 1:20 a.m. on Saturday near the Porkchop Barbecue restaurant at 6341 N. Broadway, on Chicago's North Side. Police responded to reports of gunfire and arrived to find three men suffering from gunshot wounds. One of the victims, a 28-year-old identified as Yong, had been shot multiple times and was transported by paramedics to St. Francis Hospital in Evanston, where he was later pronounced dead. Another victim, 31-year-old Munna Duke, sustained a gunshot wound to the chest and was taken to Weiss Hospital, where he was also pronounced dead. A third man, 36 years old, was shot in the back and taken to Evanston Hospital in fair condition. While police have not confirmed his identity, rumors suggest the third victim may have been Domo from 600, who was reportedly with him that night. According to CBS 2, citing police scanner audio, the shooting occurred as the men were standing on the sidewalk after leaving Porkchop Barbecue. Police scanner reports also indicated that the suspect was caught on City Pod's surveillance cameras, possibly driving a stolen vehicle. While news outlets have reported the incident as a drive-by shooting, an alternative account was shared on Facebook by a mother whose daughter was present at the scene. According to her post, her daughter had been out with friends at a nearby bar. As they approached their vehicle, they noticed a man wearing a ski mask pacing outside the bar. She also claimed that several individuals inside the bar were wearing ski masks as well. When a group of men exited the bar, the masked individual reportedly opened fire on them, then ran toward her daughter's car. One of the bullets even struck the vehicle. Thankfully, her daughter and her friends were unharmed, which she attributed to the grace of God. However, one of the victims, after being shot, collapsed directly in front of their car. The first theory points to Front Street, a crew that has had on and off tensions with both the younger and older members of O Block for some time. We already know there has been shooting and murders in connection to this conflict which has not been talked about but rather swept under the rug. This theory gained traction after a known Front Street affiliate was seen posing with what appeared to be Yong's chain, bloodstained and posted online shortly after the murder. While this was widely interpreted as a taunt, several O Block members have publicly denied that the chain belonged to either Yong or Duke. Still, it was clearly an O Block chain, and how it ended up in someone else's hands remains unclear. That said, it seems unlikely that the shooter, regardless of affiliation, would have stayed at the scene long enough to snatch a Cuban-linked chain from a victim's neck in a crowded area, especially with other O Block members nearby who would likely have retaliated immediately. Cuban chains are not easy to remove, especially under pressure. The second theory involves Taekwon World. The long-standing feud between Taekwon World and O Block dates back to at least 2014 and intensified in the years that followed. Multiple bodies have dropped on both sides, and during the Get Back Gang era, Duke was rumored to be involved in two high-profile murders linked to Taekwon World. Following Duke and Yong's deaths, Taekwon World affiliates mocked the situation online, particularly targeting Duke, and posted tributes to Poppy and DB, both of whom Duke was allegedly involved in killing. The third theory, arguably one of the more credible ones based on available evidence, points to Ghoulie Gang, also known as Bloodbath or 130. According to an officer familiar with the investigation, surveillance footage shows the gunman fleeing in a stolen Infiniti Q50. Less than 2 hours after the shooting, that vehicle was found burned out in the 600 block of East 134th Place, deep in Ghoulie Gang territory. This key detail has led many to suspect that the hit may have been carried out by someone affiliated with Ghoulie Gang. So, what's the connection between O-Block and Ghoulie Gang? There's a complicated history. Action Savage, a known figure from 130, was once close to members of O-Block. However, things soured when Boss Top and others allegedly attempted to rob him. The situation escalated into a shootout in which Boss Top was shot and robbed, and 4 others were injured, including Action Savage himself. More recently, J4 from O-Block dissed Ghoulie Gang in a track, reigniting tensions. Since then, there have been threats exchanged on social media, and following the double murder, Ghoulie Gang affiliates posted subtle but pointed messages on Instagram that some took as disrespectful. That said, the theory remains complicated. Chucky, one of Ghoulie Gang's rising stars, is currently signed to OTF, which creates a conflicting dynamic. If Ghoulie Gang were involved, it could cause serious internal friction. I have a strong feeling that those responsible for this shooting will be caught, possibly within the next few months. The incident was reportedly captured on surveillance footage, and if law enforcement decides to dedicate the necessary resources, there's a good chance they'll be able to track the suspects through the city's network of cameras. However, there are signs that they won't be caught either. Over 50 shots were fired in the incident, but according to sources, the police did a messy job and left a lot of evidence behind. Both Duke and Yong were high-profile figures. Yong was known as a major trapper, While Duke was an alleged killer and rapper with a heavy reputation, Duke, in particular, was a recognizable face with multiple rumored bodies to his name, and his death is likely to spark serious consequences. This isn't the first attempt on his life either. The ops nearly got him back in 2018, not long after Get Right's murder, when Duke was shot in the leg. Members of TSG have already vowed retaliation, and even heavyweights like DQ have made promises of get back. It wouldn't be surprising if someone like Edug came out of retirement over this. The balloon release for Duke and Yong took place today, with many showing up to pay their respects, including Trey 5. Duke was an original member from the pre-Wick City era, and Yong represented the GBMG generation. That's it for this video. I hope you found it informative. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. The story of Munna Duke is coming soon, and by then, I'll likely have a clearer picture of what really happened. Until then, stay safe and may God bless you all.